Hey guys, Scriptures here. And today we will talk about capitalism and how AI is killing it. Here's how capitalism works now. Companies invest in their products, like for example this smartphone right here. So Samsung invested in technologies that are inside the smartphone 5, 10, even 15 years ago. And it is only now when people like you and me, when we actually buy those products. So it is only now that Samsung and other companies that they actually receive return on their investment. Another way to look at how this time frame works, we can look at NASDAQ, for example. NASDAQ is where all the technological companies are basically listed in the US. The average return on assets on NASDAQ is roughly about 10% on average, very roughly. What that means is that companies on average are waiting for 10 years to get return on their investment in their products. 10 years. Again, this is a huge oversimplification and averaging, but it should give us a roughly accurate estimate of the overall timeline that we're talking about. Another way would be to look at PE ratio for NASDAQ, for example. That's how much investors are ready to pay for shares. So PE for NASDAQ is roughly around 25 currently. What that means is that they're paying 25 annual profits for a share. So basically they're ready to wait for 25 years. Yet we can see that we're talking about decades, basically decades. This is how much time capitalism needs to give the return back to investors. And this is a fundamental thing. Basically, capitalism is based on time. And this is exactly what AI is destroying. AI is squeezing time. One of the most fascinating things about AI is how quickly it develops and how quickly it actually accelerates, because it becomes faster and faster and faster. It is hard to believe now, but ChatGPT appeared commercially just about 3 years ago. It feels like an eternity, right? And that is becoming even faster as AI is developing itself. We see that in case of NVIDIA chips, where AI is basically building and designing NVIDIA chips. And in many other AI applications, AI is already involved in them. But this speed of AI development is just a minor problem, actually, because there is a bigger one. And that bigger one is distillation. We first saw distillation coming last year, and that's what Chinese DeepSeek did when they actually copied Western models. And what this distillation is doing, it's a fascinating thing actually, if you think about it. It's basically takes a small student model, and that small student model talks to a larger model. And when they talk to each other, it's actually turned out that the student model can become almost as powerful as a larger model. And all that happens at a fraction of a cost and almost instantaneously, basically. All that we knew a year ago. But one thing that is still not very fully understood is that what that actually means. Because what that really means is that now with this distillation, almost any AI is copied. It is virtually impossible to protect AI. And because it is impossible to protect AI, because any technology now is based on AI, it is almost impossible to protect any technology. Whenever a new technology appears, it will be copied. And not within 20, 15, 10 years as previously, but we're probably talking about years or maybe even months. Any technology now, any product cannot be protected. And what that means is that the time that companies have now between the launch of the product and the time when they begin to get returns on their investment, that time has shrinked from decades to years, or maybe even to months. AI shrank that time. AI is destroying the foundation of capitalism, time.